Playing at home for the first time in nearly 4 weeks, the Indy 11 are back inside of the Community Health Network Event Center on the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. They have played 5 USLW League matches. The last 4 have been on the road. They have 4 more matches to go this season, all at home. And the Indy 11 know they need to win to make sure they get to a playoff berth for a 4th time in 5 years. Thanks for joining us on the ISC Sports Network. Alongside Kristen Hazley, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Indy 11 Soccer, presented by our friends at Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. And by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Kristen, thank you so much for being with us. And again, it's an Indy 11 team that comes in 2-2-1 on the season. Both of their losses of the 1-0 variety against this Dayton Dutch Lions team against Racing Louisville. But frankly, they play those 2 teams a combined 3 times over the next 7 days. The postseason path is still there for Brandon Kim's team.
Absolutely. It is wide open at the top of that table. Those top 3 teams we just talked about, the Dayton Dutch Lions, Racing Louisville, and then Indy 11, all right there, separated by 3 points or less. So really, if the 11 come away with a win tonight, they're sitting top of the table, even with the Dayton Dutch Lions. And you're exactly right. Lots of soccer left to play this season. It is wide open. I like where Indy 11 is sitting and think tonight will be a great test for them.
It's not been an Indy 11 team that has been the highest scoring team in these matches, as referenced in that 1-0 losses. They played to a 1-1 draw against Racing Louisville to start the season. Did put up 6 against Toledo Villa in a victory on Wednesday. Right now, let's take a listen to the playing of tonight's national anthem.
You should have banged louder. Screaming bloody murder. I don't.
And with that, let's get to our starting lineup. Starting lineup represented by Ford, your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. 3-5-2 is what we will see for Brandon Kim's squad tonight. Risa Hockey playing up top with Nikki Jadoin. And again, Kristen, this Indy 11 squad is kind of a mix in terms of players that are from the area and players that play college soccer somewhere in the vicinity of Indianapolis. And Reese and Nikki up top is the perfect example of that. Reese is absolutely born and bred of Central Indiana. Mom and Dad are literally a couple of bleachers down watching her play tonight. Nikki Jadoin is from Massachusetts. She played at the University of Louisville. She really has turned into a star player for Indy so far in the 5 matches played this year.
That is a great way to describe her. She really has become the engine of this Indy 11 offense. We talked about how they struggled to score a little bit early on. That offense has really come alive the last couple of games, and that's all part and parcel to Risa Hockey and Nikki Jadoin up top. Combining well, you add in Abby Mills there in the midfield as well. Really just an offensive unit that's starting to figure things out and having a lot of success this past couple games.
For the Dayton Dutch Lions, Brering, Brooks, Urbach, Goddard, Monroe, Morse, Raymondi, Rayberger, Rogowski, Russo, and Spiller. The 11 that will take to the floor. And the one thing that you do note, it is going to be a bit of a limited substituted side tonight for Dayton. They listed 14 players on their roster for tonight. Look at their bench. I see 4 players that have the bibs on, so maybe there's a 15th that didn't make it to the team sheet. but again, not the full complement of subs for the Dayton Dutch Lions this evening. It's the keys to the game, presented again by our friends at Ford, your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Kristen, take it away.
Yeah, number one, look to transition quickly. When we look at this Dayton Dutch Lions group, they've been really, really good defensively. One way to cut out that organization and compactness is to counter quickly. Can you win in the midfield and instantly get into that offensive third? Two, win the midfield battle. Again, playing that 3-5-2 formation, you're betting on the fact that you can control the pace, control the ball, and really just dictate where the game goes from that midfield position. And finally, instantly pressure the ball. You cannot let the Dayton Dutch Lions dominate possession, get comfortable, and really spread the field. You want to instantly put pressure on them, try and win it back. But if not, you're at least forcing them to make a mistake.
A quick check of the league standings are brought to us by our friends at AES Indiana. AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together again. There are now 96 teams that play in the W League. There are 16 different divisions. This is a 4-teamer. Everybody plays to the 3 times, which is why Indy will see so much of Dayton and Racing Louisville. You'll note that Racing Louisville actually has the most points in the league. This is still scored on a points per match. And so since Dayton is playing their 5th match right now, technically they're still at Racing Louisville. That result actually changed this afternoon. Racing picked up a 3-0 victory against Toledo Villa. So Indy will play Dayton here twice over the next week. They'll play Racing Louisville one more time here. Then they have an 11-day gap from their 8th match and their 9th match of the season. They will play Toledo Villa, who, as you can see from that graphic, is off the back at this point. That is the last match for the Indy 11. Realistically, they probably need to win these last 4 matches, or at least, say, pull 10 points out of 12 to get the lone playoff spot out of the Valley Division.
Yeah, I think that is an excellent goal to aim for right there. They've got to be confident, have to pick up 3 points here. Done a nice job of really kind of pulling out a point here and there, but really these next 4 games, the 3 points are what you are going to need to finish atop of this Valley Division.
On a muggy and stormy night in Central Indiana, we are thrilled to be playing indoor soccer here at the Community Health Network Event Center in the Drop Light Grand Park Sports Campus. And thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Women's Soccer on Sports Engine Play, as well as the ISC Sports Network. So the Dayton Dutch Lions, obviously the orange nature of the kits for the Dayton Dutch Lions gives that away. Indy 11 in their typical kind of city of Indianapolis, navy blue and red that you see. And Dayton, a significantly better team than they were a year ago in their first year in this division. I think Toledo is going through that now, knowing exactly what level you need to be on par with the Racing Louisvilles and Indy 11s of the world. A lot of players that made up the Kings Hammer team out of the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area, now playing for the Dayton Dutch Lions. And the Dayton Dutch Lions will always hold a special place in the memory of Indy 11 fans. That was their first win as a men's program. Came back in 2014 in the US Open Cup against the Dayton Dutch Lions. Almost a 4-1-4-1 is what we are seeing formationally from Dayton.
Yeah, it's an interesting counter to that 3-5-2. Gives you a little bit of different lines here, but right now Indy 11 taking advantage.
Breck gonna blast and just could not keep it on frame. But already a really good chance developed by the Indy 11 some 90 seconds in.
Yeah, and Chloe Breck there on the right side, another one of those players that's really consistently starting to become a force for this 11 side. And that 3-5-2, again, allows her to spring forward and take opportunities like that.
So building from the back is what you'll see from DDL. Which frankly will probably allow you to kind of crank up the pressure a little bit.
Exactly what we talked about pregame, getting that pressure on instantly like you see right there. A nice job. That back line steps up, midfield just traps them in there, and perfect pressure on the ball. You and I can go soccer 101 here very early in the match, because my partner played the goalkeeper position at the Division I level. I just talked about it at the college and high school and professional levels for a number of years. But every time I see a central defender touch that ball in the 6 to kind of get things started and be equal to the goalkeeper, to me, that's an automatic go from a pressure standpoint. How did you read that as a player? Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely a pressure situation. Now, depending on where that distribution goes, that'll depend if you're on that first or second pass. The main thing is you've got to be pressuring as a team. One person can't go alone. Here's Jadoin, and
Jadoin, well done. Was looking past the entire time, but frankly, the window opened, and the University of Louisville Cardinal took a shot directly at our starting netminder for the Dayton Dutch Lions. But good build here so far, and a couple of shots, only one on target in the first 3 minutes for the Indy 11.
You can already tell Nikki Jadoin starting to get more and more comfortable with the squad, just being patient on the ball, taking the best opportunity, and that's what made her has made her so valuable early on this season.
Cherry Yu playing one of the center back positions along with Mac Crewer. Cherry plays her college soccer at Purdue. Mac, a local product from Roncalli. We've talked about our story. This is her second year playing at this level for the Indy 11. Was a high school volleyball player and a club soccer player. Redshirted this past year at Michigan State. Here's Brecht. One of those players not from the area, but plays college soccer locally. Plays at Butler. We'll talk about Riso hockey on the team. Her dad on the coaching staff at Butler. And Joe and I were talking about Chloe, and Chloe going to return to Butler this fall. They feel very good about what she brings to that program and, frankly, what she has shown so far here this season.
I have absolutely been impressed with her this season, not only on the outside right spot. We've seen her shift into the midfield from time to time as well, and really just an all-around complete player. Someone I know Coach Terry St. John is happy to have coming back.
Possession controlled by the Indy 11 so far, but good job to step in the middle and break that up. That was Cameron Goddard that got in the way for the Dayton Dutch Lions. This will roll all the way through, and should be a goal kick here for the Indy 11. Indy deep in a lot of positions, but especially at the goalkeeping position. This is Emily Edwards. Spent multiple years with the team that will quickly distribute to her teammate last year at Purdue. Brecht is on a flyer, has to slow the run just a little bit to get the ball at her feet. On the cutback, offers a shot and just couldn't put the proper curl on that. But again, partner, that's 3 shots in and around the 18 in the first 5 minutes. You keep that ratio up, business is going to be good for the Indy 11 tonight.
Yeah, things look bright early on. Chloe Brecht getting involved. That time it's just a quick distribution from Edwards there, and a great field vision pass across. Just not finding the net yet, but like you said, very good signs early on.
By the way, this portion of the match is brought to us by Des Nude, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. And these two played on May 24th. Indy falling 1-0 at Dayton. In just 9 games in the division this year, you play all 3 opponents 3 times. Indy gets the luck of the draw. They got 5 home matches versus 4. Throw in coming here for the visitors in the Dayton Dutch Lions. And home game on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Another home game on Saturday night at 7. Kristen and I will have all 3 games for you, as will our ISC Sports Network production crew.
Yeah, it's going to be a very telling week for this Indy 11 women's squad. Tonight, I think they have the opportunity to set the tone for how they want these next couple games to go.
And that'll be a foul in the midfield. Set piece opportunity here from distance. But an opportunity nonetheless for the Indy 11. And they'll reset quickly. That's Dardano, Louisville area native that plays at Xavier. We actually saw her play for Racing Louisville in previous years. Not to mention her older sister as well that plays at Vanderbilt. I think there was an ask for a handball, maybe even against Jadoin on that, but we play on. One player who is notable by her absence tonight, but clearly has the proper excuse. Emma Johnson playing with the U20 national team in Spain out here tonight. Brecht trying to weave through traffic.
Yeah, they were able to, women's U20 team was able to pick up a win yesterday against France out in Spain, like you said, but very cool for the 11. This is not a new thing, though. We've had players on this squad before that have made appearances for the U.S. Soccer crest. Hal Hirschfeld, still a well-known name in the NWSL, and occasionally gets into that national camp roster. But just an exciting time. Get your young players out here, see some really good soccer, and honestly, these are literally the stars of tomorrow.
Yeah, Hirschfeld is the player that probably is kind of, and again, it's just the 5th year of the league, but Probably the Indy 11 player that has kind of made the biggest amount or grabbed the biggest amount of recognition in terms of the national scene. We've seen former pros that have played for the Indy 11. And Jadoin. Nice touch to beat a defender. Can she get back to it a second time? Third touch, no, and ended up steered back to the keeper, but Jadoin showing off that skill we were raving about to start the broadcast.
Yeah, she's got that ball in a yo-yo string, it looks like there. A nice controlled just touch of the top. Just can't get it landed early enough to get the shot off.
The heat map of this match, all in the Indy 11 attacking end. That's Olivia Smith. Played in every match this past year for Indiana University, local product. Smith being told the restart was just a bit too quick, so we'll try that again.
I like the idea, though. You try and play quick if you can, catch them off guard, stay in the rotation of your offense, but if not, slow it down. Let Reese get on the ball, get your attackers in that far side where you want the ball to be played, and see if you can make a chance out of this.
And here's Sohaki. Played last year at Xavier. Yes, Dad's on the Butler coaching staff. Reese plays at Xavier. That gives Joe Gentry fits, I know. Distribution here, but again, that's just more of a clean sweep to reset. You have one player giving chase for the Dutch Lions. Ardano plays it back to Edwards, who really has not had much company around her so far in this match. That was Samantha Urbach that was giving chase from the Dayton perspective. Not sure if this will continue as the match goes along, but at least early, Dayton content to bunker a little bit here to start this match. Jadoin giving chase, and don't think that ball was played. It was not. Simply shepherded across the byline. Goal kick coming here for the visitors and the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Yeah, you make a good point about Dayton not being able to get into that attacking third, especially with numbers. And credit the Indy 11 pressuring the ball immediately. You see them pushing it up top as well, and then cutting off that second ball. They're transitioning really well into the offensive third.
I respect teams that are willing to acknowledge, all right, let's change the game plan. Because the last time that goal kick happened, I immediately said, hey, let's talk about automatic pressure. The next one, hey guys, get up the field. Let's kind of move the heat map of this thing a little bit.
Absolutely. There's a time and a place for everything.
Yep.
And there's a time and a place to boot it over the halfway line.
Building from the back is a great concept. When you've been defending for the first 10 minutes of the match, hit it to midfield and give your guys a bit of a breather.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what Dayton did just there. Abby Mills and a couple of touches at the back as well. And this is the first match that Chris and I have been fortunate to broadcast since back on May 13th. Abby's going to be a junior at Notre Dame next year. And Notre Dame has become kind of more of a pipeline for this Indy 11 team, courtesy of their longest serving men's coach, that being Martin Rennie, now an assistant coach up in South Bend. Saw a couple of Irish players here last year, many more this year.
Many more and many more minutes, I feel, as well, played by some of these Notre Dame players, especially Abby Mills, like you said, dominating that midfield. She's become such a bright spot in terms of possession and how the 11 play.
Bending ball back post, Sahaki heads it down, but just steers it wide again. The build sublime. That was Lee on the service from the left midfield, and Sahaki made the proper run, just couldn't keep it inside the post. Take a look.
Yeah, great right-footed ball there by Lee, and Sahaki's in the right position, even as the defender beat just a little bit wide on the header there, but she turns around, gives Lee the big thumbs up. Great ball, keep him coming.
You and I did not have a chance to see Lee play when we were here 3.5 weeks ago. Another player from the University of Louisville, from the Pacific Northwest. We talked about it again. It's a pretty unique mix Indy has put together. Indy, one of the original teams in the league. They won their division each of the first 3 years, did not win it last year. Went 5-5 a season ago. Has aspirations for better numbers this time around. Again, Dardano the pressure. Jadoin trying to find a teammate or a window. She goes for goal and cashes in. Nikki Jadoin from the edge of the 18 makes it 1-0 for the Indy 11. We don't cue the smoke indoors. We celebrate just the same. The home team has the lead in minute number 13.
A beautiful strike here by Jadoin. Similar to what we saw earlier this half, she just gets enough space, and this one is on frame past the diving Riley McKinney in goal, Taylor Spiller in goal there. And a great placement, well done on the right-footed curve. A brilliant shot. And Jadoin is the engine. We thought we'd see her do something special tonight. And there it is, 1-0 for the 11.
Unless the University of Louisville is going to be a College Cup level team, and maybe even if that's the case, she might get a little more action there, because last year she played in 19 matches, but largely as a bench player. 5 starts, average around 35 minutes a match. I'm having a hard time seeing more than an attacker or two that would be better for her at that level, because she has been great so far for the Indy 11.
Yeah, she has it. It just goes to show how competitive and good women's college soccer is in this day and age. You know, you were talking about Indy 11 being the original team and winning the division those first 4 years. Again, they've gotten better every year, and the fact that they didn't win the league last year shows you that the USLW as a whole is just raising that bar every single season. Similar to Louisville, you got to do something special, I guess, to get that starting spot.
Well, there's another group in Louisville that is cheering this result. That would be Racing Louisville, because Racing has already pulled 4 points from 2 matches against the Indy 11. And again, for those maybe that don't watch as much of the league, Jadoin, was she onside? No, she had just veered off. And as you can tell, we've got just a few lines down in this indoor facility. It does make it easier for the AR a little bit to kind of get a bird's eye view as to whether Jadoin was off. I thought she was off as well. But again, Racing Louisville, NWSL program, they've had a W League squad from the start. That's kind of the bridge from their academy to their first string side in the NWSL. Frankly, there's a lot of University of Louisville players that play for both of these two teams.
Stanchion.
Again, that rematch will happen again here coming up later this week. Foul whistle against the Indy 11. Well, Jadoin now has scored in back-to-back matches. She had one of the 6 in the victory against Toledo Villa on Wednesday night. Throw in coming here for Indy.
You better be happy I wasn't here, because I would have.
One thing I like about Jadoin, too, and the way that her game has developed this season is, even if she's not getting the shot on goal, she's involved in almost every build-up. It seems like she's either winning the ball and playing it quickly, finding a teammate like we see there, just always seems to be involved when the 11 are moving forward.
And that'll be a foul. That is Talon Guthrie that drew the foul. We saw Talon again back in mid-May. Her story's unique as well.
I see, you said you needed more caffeine.
Again, she is from Edwardsville, Illinois. She is a freshman to be at Pitt. So she has yet to play college soccer, but she's clearly been up to the task. She has been in this lineup as much as anybody else so far this spring.
Yeah, I think it's not a stretch to say that she was one of the best recruits in the 2026 class, and easily for Pitt and Coach Randy Waldrum. He'll be happy to see her coming in the fall.
Blast, and I didn't miss by much.
No, not far off.
And that was a good 35 yards out. That nearly went upper 90 to give Indy 11 a 2-0 lead.
I mean, usually you'll see that skied over. That wasn't even too high. It was just a little off frame.
I want to thank our friends at IMCU. Fans, show your Indy 11 pride. Get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. First real feel of an attack from Dayton. Comes in the 17th minute.
That was well defended there by Abby Mills, just being patient, closing that space down slowly. Does a nice job of just being patient and gets the deflection.
Here's Jadoin yet again. She was our guest this week on Soccer Saturday. And she said, basically, she kind of spends her downtime hanging with teammates. There's like 6 of them that are staying in an Airbnb while they are here for the Indy 11. And trying to find like favorite coffee shops in the area. I'm like, Nikki, you have come to the right person.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I may have a coffee shop discussion here at some point in time during the course of the broadcast today.
I love that.
I recommended Noble Tea and Coffee Company in Noblesville. She's not been to the Square just yet. I thought that was a good place to go.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
Yeah, there you go.
We've been there a couple times.
Just a couple times, yes.
Yeah.
She said she was working down at Butler soccer camp because apparently Rob and Terry and Joe run like the biggest soccer camp in the state these days. Several of the Indy 11 players have been working it. So we'll tinker at 56 in Illinois. Might be the way to go when you're down there.
We like that spot,
too. Five Spice, you know, I thought that was the way to go. Cleared by Dayton.
Concierge to Indianapolis, especially coffee shops.
I think I know of what I speak. Throw-in coming for the Indy 11 here in minute number 19. We'll make sure we thank our ISC Sports Network crew producing today's match. Thank you to Charlie Hammock, David Kahn, Elijah Mash, Aaron Van Wolde, and Dalton Cox. Cardano, and from the Louisville area, played at South Oldham High School. And he will kind of reset here.
Does the team provide the control?
Mills, a bit of a misstep, but quickly pounces on it. 4 orange-clad defenders quickly circle Jadoy.
Yeah, no surprise there. I think they're going to make it a little bit tougher on her on the ball, at least for the rest of this first half.
Sahaki racing back and got a lot of ball, but got just enough arm and shoulder to whistle the foul. And frankly, it appears that and I hope that Dayton player is okay as we get a look at the injured player on the ground for the Dutch Lions. That is Faith Broering, that is the player that comes up a bit gimpy. And again, there's just 4 subs available today and immediately one will start to loosen. And you would think that one of those is a keeper, that is one of those 4 subs. So we may have to use an early substitution in this match, which you hate to see.
Yeah, you do. Faith Broering there. You see her wearing the captain armband. She played at UC for 4 years. A graduate and now playing this pre-professional league here and really adds a lot of experience to some of these younger teams that we see, especially this Dayton Dutch Lions roster. Good to see her up and stretching around, but you hope she can continue.
And obviously now you've got 2 opportunities to play professional soccer in this country. You know, in terms of the Gamebridge Super League that just wrapped up. Big news for the Super League is that they're going to play a 14-game fall season, and then they will shift to what has been the North American soccer calendar and play kind of, you know, March, November, if you will, starting in 2027. Lexington just hosted that championship a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I like that schedule switch. You know, it's going to be a little awkward and clunky at first to kind of get everything shifted, but in the long run, I think it's best for women's soccer.
You got to remember, I did North American Soccer League seasons that were like 10 games long back in the day. So I've been a part of those sprint campaigns before. Obviously, Major League Soccer will do that in the spring of 27 before they then shift to the more global calendar. And we'll put the Super League calendar in line with what the Championship and League One do on the men's side. Jadoy pressuring Ella Raimondi along the back. And again, frankly, since Indy scored that goal, Dayton has kind of turned the wick up a little bit here. They are seemingly more engaged in the battle than they were in the first 12, 13 minutes. Perfectly timed run, the weighted ball on the cross, kept in play, but couldn't find a teammate. That was Sahaki that at least kept the attack alive for Indy.
Great build up there. You called it a perfectly timed 1-2 ball there. Just can't find that final touch on the near side. Another great opportunity, though, for these women.
And Edwards, again, hadn't had to do much. Quickly jumps on that and squelches any opportunity. Of course, this match is brought to us by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together.
I was going to say, we've seen Emily Edwards a lot over these past 2 seasons for sure, and really just a calming, confident presence in the back. And that's the reason you don't see her always having to make these crazy saves, as she keeps the players in front of her organized. The positioning there is so good, she just comes out and picks it up, cleans it up before it gets dangerous.
They may have to make a move at the back, is Dayton.
She's struggling.
Yep. And that player is into the 4th official right now. So next stoppage, we will see a substitution coming in for Dayton. Francesca Alberto will come on. Flag goes up against Dayton. First time they've been whistled as offside, and because of the injury, Dayton will make a sub. Again, all of our substitutions are presented by our friends at Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. So Alberto comes in. Roaring has a seat. And again, on a night where Dayton knew they were short players in the first place, the rotation just got short in the 24th minute.
Yeah, and if you're Indy 11 sitting there watching the rotation of that center back, their captain, really the anchor of this team, she goes out. You're looking at that sub and you're saying, okay, we're going to attack right there for about the next 5-10 minutes. Don't let her get comfortable in that line at all.
High line being played here, just took it in behind it. Opportunity for the Indy 11. Left-footed shot deflected, and it's well done on both ends. The pass perfectly weighted from the Indy perspective. The defense absolutely did their job from the Dayton perspective.
Yeah, it's a great ball on, well timed there to stay on sides as well. But again, Dayton doing a nice job of standing up to the challenge, deflecting the cross. No harm, no foul there for the Dutch Lions.
Matt Kruger trotting back to her center back position. Good give and go here by the Dayton Dutch Lions. Brecht got in the way. But again, it just seemed it took a little bit for Dayton to kind of say, okay, yeah, we're in this. All right, let's go play. And now they're looking like the team that again got 3 points against Indy a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, really starting to come alive, starting to find some more possession, especially in their attacking third. Riley Morse, their number 12 with a shot. I think as she starts to get warmed up, that's a player the 11 are going to need to keep an eye on. She's starting outside back for Missouri and also has some U.S. Youth National Team experience.
Sahaki giving chase, Jadoin as well. Turf bounce favors the Indy 11. Sahaki trying to split two defenders. Goes for goal herself. Maybe the better option might have been Brecht out wide. Goal kick coming for the visitors.
Yeah, it's a great touch and a great win there by Sahaki in a nice spot. The ball, I think, just rising up a little bit on her. Shot ends up flying over the crossbar there.
Again, Dayton elects to build from the back. This time, Indy going to give them a little space. Now the distribution comes to the near side. There's Brecht on the restart. Powell, Ohio. His third team All Big East this past year.
Good things happen when Chloe Brecht gets involved in the attack as well. Right now, becoming a little bit hard with the pressure that Dayton has started to put on. Like to see her flying up that right side a little bit more.
And as you can tell, being indoors, we have some unique angles that we work around here in the building. Long ball goes a little too far. Throw in coming for Dayton. I kind of liken it to the right field pole cam for the FC Tulsa broadcast in the USL Championship. Sometimes the corners get lost on a baseball field. Sometimes they get lost indoors as well.
There are some odd pitches out there.
But again, on a day that was as muggy and rainy as today was, I'm all for indoor soccer. Edwards will get to that just in time. And Dayton starting to pick up the pace. That was Dara Russo that was kind of buzzing around that one. I believe you learned something about Dara's collegiate team today, correct?
Oh, yes.
She's the South Carolina Upstate player for the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Yes, there's not very many, especially Division I universities that I've never heard of. This one, however, University of South Carolina Upstate.
Yep, Spartansburg, South Carolina.
Yes.
Longtime Division II power, about 20 years in Division I.
This is why I hang out with you.
This makes you a big old nerd, just so you know.
It's too late for that.
Yep. Plenty of space for Cherry Yu. Does the flag stay down here? No. Lee had just ventured a bit too far up front.
It's just a little bit too direct there by you, just trying to make that straight ball run. I think you find a little bit more success if you try and get into the middle, maybe find Dardano, and then pivot it out wide to either Brecht or find Jadoin trying to stretch that back line.
And Cherry may be going through a position switch. And the reason I said is she's listed as a forward. We have seen her playing on the back line. She kind of has that height where you could really kind of play either position. And she played 19 matches at Purdue, started 14 of them. Native of Kansas.
I will say, if there is a position switch that you see a lot, especially in the women's game, you'll see forwards become defenders or defenders become forwards. I can't necessarily explain to you why and how it works, but a lot of it is like a Chloe Brecht type player, where you will see them being very effective in the attack, but also have the speed and ability to get back and defend.
Well, the best example that I can give you in terms of this level, and some of that is just, again, you're the most talented player in your high school team, for example. You're going to play up top and go get goals. Carson Cherry would be the example that, from the area, played at Louisville, played for the Indy 11 women's squad for many years, but scored a bazillion goals for her high school team while knowing club in college she was going to be a defender, going forward. Here's Smith. He's been sitting on this 1-goal lead for the last 17 minutes. It belongs to Jadoin. It was 1-0 in the opposite direction when these two teams played each other for the first time. If Indy's able to maintain this, Racing Louisville goes in front by a point. But again, Racing's got to come here this week. Dayton has to come back here later this week, which is why Indy knew that a division title, their only method of making the postseason, was still in their hands. And that's what's kind of unique about having just 4 in the division this year. Long ball, let Jadoin go chase. Brecht makes the supporting run in behind. Right back to Jadoin. She's got 2 options inside of the 18 if she wants the immediate cross. Lee becomes a third. Can she keep it in play? Yes.
Smart play.
So Hockey lets it bounce and kind of caught everybody off guard, including her teammate in Brecht. Goal kick coming for Dayton.
And you go back to having these 3 home games, the chance to really solidify yourself as the top of the table here this week. And if you're the Indy 11, I think that's a good position you want to be in.
Yeah.
You're right there. You have the opportunity to beat both of these teams that have already beat you at home and really just put a stranglehold on the top here.
Tonight's match is brought to us by our friends at Ford. Visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today. Three matches this week. Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Squad depth will be tested, and there are loads of talent this Indy 11 squad has. So Hockey slots in behind, plays it across. Ardano was the player closest to it. Right idea by Reese. Good pressure again. It's Jadoin that picks it up. Jadoin plays it across. Defender swept it away. And that'll be a foul against Indy.
So good there from the 11 by Sahaki and Jadoin. First, it's Reese Sahaki gets end line and realizes, I don't have an angle here. Does a nice job of putting it back in front of the goal mouth. And like you said, Dayton just there to clear it out. And then Jadoin, the impressive speed on the ball, ability to beat defenders in the 18. She's special.
Through ball that, I'm going to use the baseball terminology, be a can of corn. A stat pattern for Edwards. That was Rogowski that directed on target, but did not get much on it. The possession starting to balance out a little bit now in this match. Still the better chances belong to the home team. It's playing with a 1-goal lead. Trying to get that ball to Brecht, just couldn't find her. Great touch by Sahaki. Brecht trying to leave room to cut back, which she did. Again, trying to find Judoin. Good read by the center back. I think that was Raimondi that was able to make that play for Dayton. Now they can throw some numbers forward here. Good looking build. Flag stays down. Opportunity up and over the ball. Now, best build of the match so far for Dayton. Nothing comes of it, but let at least plant the seed in the defender's mind for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and that's how quickly it can change, right? We're down here admiring Chloe Brecht at a great cross, and within 15 seconds, Dayton's transition and have a good look at goal there. Edwards does a nice job of just closing the angle, forcing her to go high. But again, something you've got to be aware of on that transition game from the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Edwards, 20 matches for Purdue last year in goal for the Indy 11. Her second year as a starter at Purdue. Had 69 saves and 4 clean sheets. 3v3 at the back. Judoin and Dardano not on the same page there. And a chance to reset. Here's Mills.
This back three has been so good, not only defensively, but really setting up the offense. And it's worth noting, Matt Kruger, who has been the starting center back and played just about every minute this season for the 11, didn't even play college soccer last year. She redshirted at Michigan State. So for her to be in this kind of game form, really impressive.
Judoin couldn't split 2 defenders. Just a little bit of breathing space for Dayton at the back. That almost immediately a thing of the past tense. This Force the Match is brought to us by our friends at AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Good read. Brecht saw that one coming. Keeper quickly retreats back to her line. And Brecht brings a second defender, and wisely got touched, drop, set up the free kick, and one from just outside of the 18 for the home team.
Yep, well played there by Chloe Brecht. Great touch to receive the ball, keeps it away from the defender, and then you see there, that's contact there for sure. Definitely a foul, but again, you set up now Sahaki with this free kick on the right foot, in swinging, a great position here for the 11.
It was Riley Morse who committed the foul for Dayton. So again, it's Sahaki, just a one-player wall. That right to the edge of the wall. Not sure that's where Reese was thinking about that one, and now she's going to go in the hustle bus.
It's just that near right corner.
And wisely got her body in front of the Dayton player to draw the contact and blow the whistle, because if she gets beaten there, that's a problem.
Yeah, that is really well done. You know, just hits that free kick a little bit behind where she wants to place it, in between the keeper and her attackers there, and Dayton does a nice job of immediately clearing out and transitioning. But you said it, Sahaki saving the play there with a great, we'll call it a foul draw, if you will.
Very tactical.
Yes.
Good touch here by Dayton, but shepherded across the end line by Brecht. Another goal kick coming. So again, the build has gotten better. Really only kind of one nervy moment from the Indy 11 perspective so far, that shot that was lifted up and over the bar a handful of moments ago.
Yeah, and it seems like their most dangerous opportunities are coming after the Indy 11 has put numbers forward, and it's just a quick transition the other way. That is one thing dangerous about playing that 3 in the back. When you get all of your midfielders involved, you're leaving a lot to defend.
Sorry, I was trying to get that thing to auto latch.
On the cross, and Edwards is there. Ball here steered directly at her. And Edwards now will take a moment, just kind of let her team breathe a little bit.
I own the team, and like we own Grand
That
Park.
was always one of the most important moments of a game when I was playing keeper. You make a save, and if you've been under siege for a second, hold the ball.
Yep.
Everyone take a deep breath. Let's settle in. Remember how we defend. Remember what we're trying to do here, and play forward.
You did not play in the 8-second rule the way that they have now. You had a little more time back in the day.
Rules are made to be broken.
I have seen that called one time in a men's match this year.
Okay.
Where an immediate point to a corner happened. I think that was when the Indy men were playing Jacksonville back in May. One of 5 successive wins for the men's squad. including
there.
last night's 2-0 Prinks Tires USL Cup win against forward Madison.
The Peter Wilt derby.
Correct.
Yeah, just come back to that.
There was a reference to that on the broadcast last night or two.
Just need Chicago House FC, I think, in there. And
Make it a full-on cup tournament.
Or we, hey, hear me? We keep it here, and then it,
This match is brought to us by Desnuda.
Sure, it's
Desnuda, 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes.
I will say, Forward Madison has some of my favorite soccer merch of all time.
Glad you didn't hear any of what
They
I
had Rose Cowbell at one point instead of Rose Lovell,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed a t-shirt real bad.
Well, when Dairyland is your sponsor, those things tend to blend together. Good looking ball here. Just an extra defender gets back, and Lee will let that one stroll across the byline for a goal kick. But again, you see that Dayton's starting to figure out kind of where the cracks and crevices are against the Indy 11.
Yeah, they're starting to find some more success moving the ball. I think they're in those spaces that you pointed out. Where's it open against this back line and some of these midfielders as well? I think Abby Lee has done a nice job. I'm sorry, Brooklyn Lee has done a nice job of really controlling that left side. She's getting back when she needs to defend, but also being able to get involved in the offense has made a lot of opportunities here for this 11th squad.
I know it's a different look.
Got 3 gifts chase. Route 1 ball that finds the rhythm. U does just enough. Got the ball first. There was contact there, but got the ball first, and then Indy will step on it. And now that they kind of have it they have clear possession in a non-threatening position, we can attend to 2 injured players. So U is the player down from the Indy perspective. It was Jade Rayberger was the, excuse me.
I don't know. I would.
It was Dara Russo that was the player that was closest by for the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Teams in a game, so you can have a tight.
A nervy moment there for the 11.
The
ball just missed time there by you, goes over her head, and she's got to recover here. She does absolutely get the ball, gets the ball cleared away. Definitely not a foul there. I think just clean tackle. But again, just having to recover inside of your own 18, not a fun job to have to do.
Trainer is out. Give both teams a chance to kind of catch their respective breath. Final 5 minutes of half number 1. Presented by our friends at Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
Because like right now, if there was like a, let's just say there's like the last minute of the game and there's a really bad,
first 15 minutes really dominated by the Indy 11. But since that time, Dayton has most certainly grown into the match. Seemingly the opportunities are kind of getting better by the trip down the field.
Hey, I'm here.
Again, the remaining schedule for the Indy 11 women. Racing Louisville here on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Then Dayton is back on Saturday night. And that 11-day gap before Toledo Villa comes in to end the regular season again. Toledo has been outscored 21-3 in their 6 matches. Maybe not struggling the way that St. Charles a couple of years ago or Dayton did last year, but they're also with 3 really good sides in our division.
Mm-hmm. It's competitive. It's stacked. It's great soccer to watch. Excellent talent out on the field. And, this Dayton team, like you mentioned, settling into the game, which is a bit of their style. Really organized defensively. They like to keep that midfield compact. But once they transition and they get wide and explode into the offensive third, they've shown they can score goals this season.
So I would imagine this late in the half, they hope that you can continue, but if not, you may just play a player down for the remainder of this half and then bring a player on to start half number 2.
Yeah, Coach Brandon Kim here might just rotate and go 4 back for the next couple minutes just to get to halftime. It'd be a little tough to throw in a cold left center back in that
They're going to bring in a
3.
player immediately.
Yeah.
So Cherry done for the day. So she will rotate out. We'll get you the Indy 11 player coming in to replace her in a match. It's going to be Lauren Adam that will come on. So again, we have another substitution. All of our substitutions presented by Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila. How real tequila tastes. So Lauren Adam will come on. Cherry U done for the day, so both teams have had an injury sub here in the first 45 minutes. And to be blunt, knowing that, close to 100% of these players have college seasons to get ready for, usually chances aren't taken with injuries. If there's something, you know what, let's err on the side of caution. Come on out, have a seat, and we'll get you checked out and hopefully see you back for the next match.
Yeah, it's a fine line in these pre-professional leagues, especially for those college players. Obviously, you don't want to sit around and do nothing all summer, but sometimes playing in games comes with that risk. But the 11 has a great athletic training staff. They do a nice job, like you said, of just conservatively managing the health of these ladies.
So we will have some additional added time at the end of this half because of a goal and a couple of different injury situations. There's plenty of time for either side to potentially generate one here.
And you talk about the depth of this 11 squad early on. Lauren Adams stepping in, another very competent defender that comes on for Cherry U. Another Purdue commit as well. And she has played some really good minutes in the back for the 11 this season.
She is from Noblesville. Part of 3 state championships in her days at Noblesville. Saw Lauren play last year for the squad. And again, we are fortunate here that high school soccer is so high level in the area that pretty fertile recruiting ground. As Edwards quickly snags that one. Well timed. Jadoin is on. She'll widen the attack. She's got a couple of players to choose from. And she's got the Indy 11 goal, plays that center. Sahaki couldn't get there in time.
Again, that's so good by Jadoin out wide, able to stop the ball, squares up on the defender when it looks like all she can do is maybe get a cross off with the left, and then takes her on, beats her, finds the cross. Again, Dayton doing a nice job, though, of defending some of those balls coming across the middle.
Indy has had no problem kind of getting in front of Dayton players and drawing contact to get restarts in their favor. 3 minutes of additional time, 3 minutes.
No corners, I think, this first half for the 11, which is interesting. But like you said, 2 really good positioned free kicks and doing a nice job there.
But in an offside position, yep. Couldn't do anything there, so the offside flag goes up.
It's been an excellent half there by Nikki Jadoin. She's been involved in just about everything going forward, finds the field switches, able to find the midfielders trailing behind her. Just excellent field vision, especially when she's on the attack.
Edwards off her line and carved out the real estate properly, knew exactly how far she could go there.
Those are the little things, like the positioning of a keeper, knowing how the ball is going to bounce on this turf. Because all it is it's a step or two, and that's what makes it just an easy pickup there instead of having to make a one-on-one breakaway save.
Great find by Kruer. Finds Smith. And now Lee. Again, Jadoin was heading towards the corner flag. Lee draws contact. Just a bit too strong that time from Brooklyn.
So right idea out of the back, though. They're doing a nice job of combining. You see just the little triangles almost around the field. They're going 1, 2, back out, and then trying to connect the next one.
Good pressure. Opportunity. Just tried to thread the overlapping run. Again, it's Jadoin. So hockey. Brecht. Final minute of the half. Good switch of the attack here. Pass is going feet to feet here for the Indy 11. It is off a Dayton player. Throw in coming for Indy. But everything's got to be forward here in the dying seconds of the half. Another good read. But deemed to be in an offside position. Jadoin, flag went up for her as she just kind of worked around a defender.
Yeah, I think she came back probably from that offside position.
Correct.
When she received the ball, she looks like, was pretty close to onside.
Dardano, and oh my goodness. The closeout on the goal clearance. Pinball ricochet into the back of the net. She'd be too young to get a pinball wizard reference. Some of the older folks are smiling about it. 2-0 for the Indy 11, and that changes everything going to halftime.
Wow.
You see that about once a year.
I was going to say.
Maybe where something like that happens.
I mean, every once in a while you'll see someone get a deflection on one of those, but that went straight into the goal. Watch this pressure. Brilliant. Straight into almost the upper 90 there, Greg.
And literally the last touch of the half. Whistle on the immediate restart. Frankly, as a player, you are trained to pressure like that every time.
Mm-hmm.
You might get contact 1 out of 100. That finds the back of the net like 1 out of 1,000. That was that time for the Indy 11. After 45 minutes, it's Indy 11-2 and the Dayton Dutch Lions 0. Stay tuned. Halftime from the Community Health Network Event Center in the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 W League Soccer on the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
Deep inside you, there's a spark waiting to be ignited, a yearning for a real connection, something that truly moves you. Find experiences that stir your soul in our new Kentucky home, where amazing nature and authentic bluegrass inspire you, where world-renowned bourbon and horses wow you. Kentucky, find what moves you.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Deep inside you, there's a spark waiting to be ignited, a yearning for a real connection, something that truly moves you. Find experiences that stir your soul in our new Kentucky home, where amazing nature and authentic bluegrass inspire you, where world-renowned bourbon and horses wow you. Kentucky, find what moves you.
Back at halftime again, Indy 11 dominant early. Dayton had kind of found their footing, but then just one of those moments that you might see once a year happen. Pressured goal kick ricochets immediately off of Dardano for the Indy 11 and finds its way to the back of the net. And in a match where Dayton was probably feeling a little bit better about themselves, down a goal going to halftime, now all of a sudden it's 2. Greg Rakestraw, Kristen Hazley. Kristen, your thoughts overall on half number 1?
You did a very accurate job of really describing the flow of the game. You felt like Indy 11 came out, dominated on a great front foot, creating a lot of dangerous opportunities. And it's not that they ever stopped doing that throughout the first half. It's just that Dayton Dutch Lions started to find their footing, started to find some connections, especially on the transition after the 11 possession. And you're exactly right. That goal could not have come at a better time for Indy 11. You called it on the call. Literally, the last touch of the half ends up being a goal, and you love going into that locker room with a 2-0 lead.
I have been the voice of the men's side of the Indy 11 for 13 years. I think I have seen that happen one time, and it was against the Indy 11. And by the way, the guy that was the keeper played in Major League Soccer in Jordan Farr. He was okay.
He was
I think
all right.
things have worked out well for Jordan since then. I literally think I've seen that one time in 13 years. That's crazy. But frankly, Indy probably has played well enough where a 2-goal lead overall is kind of pretty fitting for how Brandon Kim's team played.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. There was a lot of great opportunities. So Hockey, Jadoin, that midfield really doing a nice job connecting wide, finding some dangerous balls into the box. Dayton Dutch Lions did a great job defending some of those crosses. So I think you're right. They were owed one after all of the offensive firepower they created in that first half. But I'm with you. I mean, through my years of playing, I think the last time I saw that happen might have been in high school at the club level.
Yeah.
And that, not to age myself, but that was a good decent time ago.
At least it was in this millennium. You've got that going
yes,
for you.
that is true.
Again, a couple of injuries of note. Faith Broering had to leave the game early for Dayton. Again, they only brought 4 reserve players for today's contest. Cherry Yu then left the game for the Indy 11. So both teams have used a substitution window, and both teams a player down after the opening 45 minutes. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with more halftime show from the Community Health Network Event Center as part of the Drop Light Grand Park Sports Campus, the indoor home of both the Indy 11 men and women. Right now, it's Indy 11-2, Dayton Dutch Lions 0. Halftime in Indianapolis as you're watching on both Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
Owning a home can be complicated.
Why?
Oops.
How am I going to explain this to your mother? She hasn't even been gone 2 hours.
You know what? I'm just gonna call him.
Pros for over 80 years.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
Let's show you highlights from half number 1, Indy 11-2 and the Dayton Dutch Lions 0. The goal by Nikki Jadoin, the first one for the Indy 11, came in minute number 13. For Brianna Dardano, the goal, again, on the goalkeeper clearance that went awry. The Dardano somehow steered into the back of the net. That was in minute number 48. As those highlights fly by, we'll give you overall stats. The Indy 11 had 8 shots, only 2 of those on target, and those were the goals, 4 fouls in total against the Indy 11. Just 2 shots, 1 of those on target for the Dayton Dutch Lions. The Dayton Dutch Lions did commit 7 fouls in the first half. Again, numbers kind of lopsided as the score, because of that crazy carom, finishes that way as well. If there were standout performers in either direction in your mind, Kristen, whom would they be?
I mean, you've got to start with the number 1 goal scorer, Nikki Jadoin, not only because of that, but I think she did a nice job of combining with the midfield, finding some of those runs, not just straight direct, but also dropping in to combine with Hockey sometimes as well. Reese would have been my second standout. I think she got involved as well on the offensive end. Matt Kruger was solid as usual in the back, and that midfield did a great job of combining. I thought Brooklyn Lee did a nice job on the left side as well. Honestly, not many 11 players that had a poor first half.
If you're Brandon Kim, anything you want to see differently from your squad in half number 2?
I think in your middle 5, so if you put one of your midfielders up in the attack, maybe potentially with a 2-goal lead, you look at holding the other side back. So you're not sending both outside wing backs forward at that same time. It leaves you less exposed to those transition attacks, which is really the only chance that Dayton Dutch Lions had some opportunities was off of some of those times when Indy 11 pushed the numbers forward.
We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with a brief chat about what the Indy 11 men are doing. Things are going well for them as they are for the women tonight. 2-0 lead against the Dayton Dutch Lions. More halftime coverage from the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus in Westfield comes your way next on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
It is that crossover time of year where the Indy 11 women are going opposite the Indy 11 men. For the Indy 11 women, this is their 6th of 9 of a compacted sprint schedule through May and June. They're hoping to add more in July in terms of playoffs. They know they probably, again, if they don't win out, probably at least get 10 out of 12 points. So far through one half of this one, they're on the right side of this one, 2-0, leading the Dayton Dutch Lions. The men's team is having one of their best runs of form dating back to 2024. 2 years ago when they made the U.S. Open Cup semifinals and hosted a playoff game for the first time in 5 years. The men beat Forward Madison last night, 2-0 in Prinks Tires USL Cup play. Kristen, the Indy 11 men have pulled 14 points out of 15. And again, because of the shootout rules in the USL Cup, they have won 5 consecutive matches now dating back to early May.
And they have been fun to watch. I mean, very rarely are they not fun to watch, but you've got Cam Lindley back, you've got Adam Quinn back. All of these players that really are just entertaining to watch have become important to the city of Indianapolis and really just a mainstay of that Indy 11 squad.
The Indy 11 men are on the road. They go to Pittsburgh on Saturday night. In fact, the men and women have the rare match opposite each other on Saturday night. Indy 11 at Pittsburgh at Highmark at 7 o'clock on Saturday at the exact same time. These two teams you're watching right now will play same bat time, or at least same bat location. Dayton coming to Indy for a 7 o'clock match on Saturday night. We owe you one more break before we get you to second half action from the Community Health Network Event Center. At the break, it's Indy 11-2, Dayton Dutch Lions 0. Next 45 minutes come your way after this on Sports Engine Play and ISC.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis. so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
So momentarily, we'll get to second half action. One substitution for the Indy 11. Ellie Hodgson is in for the Indy 11. Reese Hockey will come out, and again, it's a deep squad, but you're also probably going to try to manage some minutes if given the opportunity, knowing you got to play Wednesday, got to play Saturday. So Hodgson will rotate in. Another substitution in this match. Again, all of our substitutions presented by our friends at Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes.
It's a great point, Greg. This is a critical week for this Indy 11 women's team. Really need to pull out as many points as possible. 3 games in 7 days here, and so that management of time and injury is going to become even more important for Coach Brandon Kim.
Can you find a teammate, slide it through near post? The answer is no, but it will be the corner. First corner we have seen in tonight's match for the Indy 11. Did not take long for Hodgson to make an impact on this match.
It sure didn't. Another one of those Notre Dame players coming down US 31 to play some pre-professional soccer in Indianapolis this summer.
Hodgson, a sophomore to be from Dripping Springs, Texas. Bending ball in, headed down, and saved at first, and the rebound steered wide. Indy had a chance to make it 3.
Great ball in. I'm not sure if it was Kruger who got the initial head on it. It might have been Lauren Adam as well. But it looks like just almost able to put it in the side net there. But a great first corner. You love to get a head on it. Take another look at it here. Yeah, it's Kruger.
Pressure at the back, but as we show you the replay, able to squelch at the netminder. And Hodgson last year at Notre Dame, 7 goals, 2 assists in 20 matches played.
Whew, that's a goal scorer right there. If you're scoring 7 goals during the ACC season, that's impressive.
Yeah, 3rd best on the team behind Izzy Engel with 13 and Annabelle Chukwu that had a dozen for the Irish last year. And that's an Irish team that lost to Ohio State in their second match of the NCAA field and finished 15-2-3.
I love the parity these days in women's college soccer. Obviously, you've still got your blue bloods and your heavy hitters, but, I mean, it used to be pretty much Notre Dame and North Carolina every season, and now to have that kind of competitiveness is just really good for the sport.
Mills will lift this one. Genoyne stays out there. So it's Hockey that exits as the second sub of the night for the Indy 11. And Dayton only has 3 other eligible players they can bring into the match tonight. Again, their team sheet listed just 14 in total. Already having 1 player out due to injury. And there might be some minute management in tonight's game.
Yeah, the score line as well as that situation with not a lot of depth for Dayton tonight, really, it gives a great opportunity to rest a few players when this game feels more in hand, obviously. Not something you want to take as a foregone conclusion.
That's Adam. Again, came in for Cherry U late in the half due to an injury. And Adam, not the size of you or Kruger or Mills in the back row, but again, plenty of experience from her days playing at Purdue.
Yeah, not a drop-off at all in that substitution. What she lacks for tonight, she makes up in speed and physicality. She's really just a great defender when you look at the way that she plays. For this Indy 11 team, she combines very well with some of those midfield players to start the attack.
Pass eventually finds a teammate for Dayton. But Adam, not enough for a whistle. Dardano had the crazy goal at the end of the half. And that also won't be a foul. So we let contact go in both directions, and our center is doing the best she can to get out of the way in that scenario and not be a hindrance towards the ball. And that will be a goal kick.
Well done to get the goal kick out of that, because there were a few Dayton Dutch Lion attackers just hanging out at that 6. You see one in the shot there. If she gets that cross off there, Rogowski might be tallying an assist.
And just one save made by Edwards, and it was of the relatively mundane variety. And Edwards maybe didn't handle that as cleanly as she would have liked to, but nothing comes of the opportunity.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward bounce there, a little bit of miscommunication with the defender. But again, cleans it up in the end. You'll take it.
Of course, this match is brought to us by AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Guthrie turns on the Jets. Trying to find a teammate. Good read by Dayton. Now some opportunity at the back here for the visitors. Got 3v3 for a moment. Trying to set up the cross, couldn't get it through, but it will be a corner. Mills got a boot to it.
That's beautiful defending there by Mills, just patient, rides her at the hip. You see her just kind of jockeying, faking forward that step, really limits what the attacker can do. Does a nice job to keep anything out of the 18 on that one.
To the edge of the 6. Gets through everybody. Headed, but up and over the bar. And Edwards had it lined up. Knew she'd have to play it. Nothing comes of the corner opportunity, and Indy will build quickly out of the back.
Not sure that's what they had in mind coming out of that goal kick there.
But if Indy can beat the pressure, we've had an opportunity, but Jadoin just couldn't keep it going. It was Rayberger that provided the defensive pressure for Dayton. Jadoin tied up with Goddard. And now Jadoin working her way forward. Hodgson cuts in front of a defender. And trying to find a teammate here, but right back into the midst of the starting goalkeeper.
Yeah, good ball by Jadoin, and then just a nice job being able to run onto that. No one really there for the cross, though. Has to try and blast it at the keeper there. Easy enough on that cross.
Taylor Spiller in goal today. Throw coming. Here for the Dayton Dutch Lions. And if this score holds, Racing Louisville 11 points. Dayton sitting on 10. Indy would have 10. Both Racing and Dayton have a match in hand on Indy. But again, both have to play here again this week. So I think Indy probably viewed it as coming in. The most they can get is 19 points. That's probably what they need to claim the division title. In other words, win out.
Yep, got to win out and try and do it by as many goals as possible.
And while that sounds like a lot, you've got 4 matches in your building.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's not a stretch to say they're playing their best soccer right now, and you hope that continues through the week, through these next couple games. But things seem to be clicking. That on-field chemistry really coming into vision there, just doing a nice job of finally putting together some good combinations.
Well, of note, Indy currently has the best goal differential of the 4 teams. And again, they played one more game that adds to that. As Guthrie, great job to find a teammate. She was shoulder to shoulder with Malin Monroe for quite some time.
Yeah, and Indy 11, even though, had a couple losses, not giving up a lot of goals. That helps the goal differential as well. And then putting 6 in against Toledo Villa, also a nice addition to that goal differential.
Kruer. Lee. Lee had rounded her defender, just forgot one very important thing. Able to track it down eventually. And Lee was kind of returning back to a neutral position, all of a sudden turned and realized, wait a minute, I've got space to go forward here. Mills got a touch to it, which allowed Kruer to kind of wall off her attacking player, and all the way back to Edwards.
Nice work there.
Good give and go. Lee was able to work around Francesca Alberto on that play.
And they just kept it simple there, which is really important when you're trying to break some of that pressure. They played the way they faced, a simple give, go, forward. Not trying to turn on the ball, not trying to do anything dangerous, just combining to keep possession.
And Edwards, bit of a miscommunication between Kruer and Mills, but no damage done. If the Dayton player could have turned opposite her right shoulder, she had a player would have been all alone on goal. Flag stays down. Chance to make it 3 here. Composed finish, absolutely. Goal for the Indy 11 and make it 3, and it's the second half substitution in Hodgson that gets the goal for Indy. Again, scored 7 for the Fighting Irish last fall. Puts the Indy 11 3 goals in front and inching a little bit closer to potentially a Valley Division championship.
Great timed run there. She does a nice job of just staying aware of where she's out on the field, and then Hodgson just past the keeper, keeps it low. Easy to see why she scored quite a few goals for the Irish last season.
So Indy now can breathe a little bit. Again, goal differential could be a factor at the end of the season.
And we see the entire bench getting loose over on the Indy 11 sideline. Probably get to about the 65th, 70th minute. I think you'll start to see a lot of those restful substitutions start to come on.
And it's Racing Louisville that is in here on Wednesday night. Indy has played them to a 1-1 draw here. That was the season opening match. And lost them 1-0 on May 27th.
All these matches this week are important, but that one might be perhaps the most critical one. Trying to get that second win in the week, carry on some confidence into the weekend, and beat a team that you just haven't been able to yet this season.
And it's the last time those two teams play. Good work to stay upright. And that's either going to be a corner or a foul, and it's going to be the latter. Our center kind of took a moment to figure out, all right, what's the proper call here, and the call is going to be a foul against Indy.
I'll tell you what, though, another 5 yards. Jadoyan gets that ball. She is speedy. A bit of a foot race there. The Dayton Dutch Lions defender does a great job, though, of defending. They'll get the free kick there, but she had the ball won.
Native of Massachusetts and plays collegiately at U of L. Guthrie's going to be a factor at Pitt this year as a freshman. Going for goal here, trying to chip the keeper, knowing that keeper was off her line, couldn't keep it on target. But frankly, you have the luxury at 3-0 of firing that shot from 40 yards away.
Why not? Green light is on. There's a bit of a freedom that you play with at that score line, and it creates a lot of opportunities, I think, than when you're trying to play really in a constricted system.
Dardano already has gotten the ultimate poacher's goal. Was looking maybe for another one. Applying the pressure. That was against Malin Monroe. Indy really controlling the midfield here. The flick and the turn, but keeper read that one properly.
It's good positioning by Hodgson, though. She does really well so far of playing with her back to the goal. She knows when she can turn. She did a nice little touch there, just a little heavy. Otherwise, she had that defender turned and beaten.
Alberto.
Great pressure there by Dardano.
Mills recovers, and we'll have to play that one back to the keeper with a Dayton player kind of hovering around. Nice touch, but again, the finish was not there, and there's not been a lot of opportunities for Dayton, but it's been kind of missing all day long.
Yeah, it seems like the second half, their opportunities are coming almost exclusively off of giveaways from the Indy 11. That time, Emily Edwards with the one time. She's got to find Chloe Breck there. Instead, finds a open Dayton Dutch Lions player that's able to then turn that into a, granted, errant chance, but an opportunity.
Angela Popovich comes on here for Dayton, and she replaces Cameron Goddard. So second sub for the Dayton Dutch Lions. Again, all of our substitutions are brought to us by our friends at Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes.
I thought it was a good day for Cameron Goddard of the Dayton Dutch Lions. She's another one of those Xavier products. Thought she did a nice job of controlling the possession when she had the ball, which wasn't often, but usually created something for the Dutch Lions.
Reminder, fans, treat yourself to an elegant stay at the Renaissance, just minutes away from both Grand Park and downtown Carmel. Thanks to the Renaissance Indianapolis North Hotel for being a sponsor of Indy 11 women's soccer. Indy with a 3-goal lead, perfectly weighted ball here, and now the ball was weighted properly. Apparently the run was mistimed as the offside flag goes up. And Indy has pushed that envelope, and that's okay. You're all right with that.
Oh, absolutely, you're all right with that. I mean, you will take the creative and the combination and the correct ball over that millisecond of time. I mean, you'll take that all day. Obviously, it can get frustrating, right? But teams will do that. They'll play the high line, play an offside trap. That's the entire goal, is to get you frustrated and demoralized in that attack. So to keep a positive spin on it, yeah, you like that. It's just a millisecond from a goal.
And Dardano has been really good. Just causing havoc in the midfield. Indy doesn't have a line change. Indy has an armada waiting to enter. I think I count 4 that are by the 4th official.
Yeah, it looks like they're saving one emergency sub, I think. And it might be none of reason.
So Mills will let that one trickle across the end line. So 4 Indy 11 players are coming on. Jenna Chatterton is going to be amongst that group for the Indy 11. Katrina Chong will also enter the match for Indy. Chloe Brecht going to be done for the game. Looks like Brooke Dardano will also exit for Indy. Edwards staying in goal. Done for the match will be Brooklyn Lee.
I could
For the
say
Indy 11, Riley DiMartino, another Notre Dame player, in for the first time as well.
You could say every single one of those players that subbed out had a great game. I thought Brecht was involved in everything consequential. You talk about some of the other things that they were able to establish on the offensive end, and they're going again.
Here's Chatterton. Chatterton, one of the players that has appeared in the most Indy 11 women's matches historically. Noblesville product. Played collegiately at the University of Tennessee, has dealt with knee injuries during her college days and draws the foul there. But as you can see, when Jenna's on the field, I'm not sure. She'd probably tell you she hadn't lost much in the speed department.
I would say, if you told me that she was a graduate and some of these other players were still playing, I don't know that I could tell the difference.
Jadoin trying to slalom her way through the Dayton defense. I'll have to go back and check. Chatterton, maybe the player that's played in all 5 years for the Indy 11. She might have missed one, kind of rehabbing, from an injury, but her name has appeared as frequently as anybody on a team sheet since this league was founded back in 2022. I want to thank our friends at AES Indiana, accelerating the future of energy together. Getting physical in the midfield, and eventually foul whistled against Dayton. So a restart coming here for Indy.
Another restart here, and really the garden spot. Going to be able to hit it with the right foot, which will bring it out swinging away from the keeper. And if placed right, hopefully right in the path of an Indy 11 attacker.
I would agree with that in terms of the foul. Good job by our crew to show you the replay immediately. It was the first touch that was the foul. In this portion of the match, brought to us by Desnuda. 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. Ball in. Dayton got ahead there first. Good settling touch. Adam redirects. Headed, but just couldn't keep it on target, but liked the build up there from the Indy 11.
A great job of not just giving up on that clearance from the free kick. And another nice position run there by Ellie Hodgson. She's been impressive in this second half so far. That time just a bit of a looping ball, always hard to get the power on it, but did well to try and put something in the back of the net there.
In racing, a 3-0 win against Toledo Villa earlier today. It's going to come down to those three teams in terms of winning the Valley Division this year. Barring something of the miraculous from a comeback standpoint from Dayton. Those three teams separated by a point. And only bad news for Indy, they have one less match to play than do the other two. But Indy will face both teams at home this week. And Dayton is back here in 6 days. Here's Smith.
That's really been a dream start to this week for the Indy 11 women. Getting some good run in a lot of your starters. We did see Cherry Yu go down, but I think that was probably more preventative.
Chong with the left foot. Eisen trying to get back to it. And goes up and over the bar. That was Jadoin that rounded the defender on the other side of the 18 as Indy continues to apply pressure. And again, it's a Dayton squad that's, again, a little bit hamstrung in terms of numbers tonight. And Indy has 5 fresh sets of legs on the field from this half or from the start of the match. And they are not letting up, nor should they.
No, I don't think they will, and I think you're going to see everyone on this roster get a decent amount of minutes this week. Critical games, really, really important that you avoid any errors due to fatigue or anything like that. So to keep all the legs fresh, minds fresh, honestly, just the will to win fresh, I think you're going to see a lot of different combinations here this next 2 games.
Martino. And he scored in the 13th minute. Jadoin's second goal in as many matches. So they have never trailed. Frankly, Dayton kind of found their footing and they kind of made the match a bit more level in terms of just the eyeball test. But ever since Indy got that second, on the challenge goal clearance by Dardano, and frankly has been all in the direction of the Indy 11 and a third goal. and stretched the lead even further with 20-plus minutes left to go.
Yeah, really, about halfway through that first half, that was almost Dayton's moment to really kind of even things up, try and seize. They had the run of play with them, but you're spot on. Since then, it's been mostly Indy 11, a few transitional opportunities for the Dayton Dutch Lions, but Indy 11 has looked very comfortable in this second half.
Good read by Adam. Better turn by Hodgson. Hodgson creates space. Hodgson couldn't get it past the keeper. Well, she's seen a lot of traffic. That's easily her best save and spiller of the night.
That's a tough finish there for Hodgson. The touch she should have hit it on ended up on her left foot with no angle.
Flag stays down here, left-footed cross, and that is great positional defense by Adam. Just got in the way. Ball rolls all the way through. It'll be a throw, not a goal kick for the Indy 11 pinned up against the corner flag.
Yeah, that's critical because that's a great cross there. Emily Edwards was beat as well, just stayed home there, rotated across instead of cleaning it up.
Take a moment to thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Thanks to Charlie Hammock, David Count, Elijah Mash, Dalton Cox, and Aaron Van Wolde. I think Dayton's going to bring another sub in momentarily. They have a player just heading towards the fourth official. Long ball played, but Chloe Lawson going to be that sub for Dayton that's coming on. Indy has a sub lined up as well. Elise May is going to be the sub for Indy. Good look here that didn't miss that by much.
It looked
like
Edward,
a top shelf effort that time by Dayton.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a rocket off that right foot, too. Looked like Edwards had it covered at the bar. Really there, though, it's got to be better defending on that outside right side by Adams. She just gave her a little bit too much space there for her to be able to get that shot off.
Elise May coming on for Indy. Played her high school senior, high school soccer at Fishers, heading to Butler. And all of our substitutions brought to us by our friends at Desnuda. 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. Hodgson, very impressive. Knocked that ball forward, hoping that May would latch on to it. That is an all-new attacking front trio that's in the game for the Indy 11.
Which is understandable why that ball would have been a little too direct, a little heavy weighted there, but you're exactly right on Hodgson. She's been so impressive with the way she moves off the ball. You saw that last one there. The turn on the defender completely eliminates them from that ball, and she has just been quick enough to get on every single one of those through balls with the defender behind her.
I'll borrow this from another sport. My favorite Rick Carlisle quote is that a player knows the geometry of the game. Hodgson does exactly that. Plays this ball forward. Not much of an angle there, but it was parried away by the keeper. Going to be a goal kick. Deemed that no hand to it, just simply a wide shot on the short angle there by the Indy 11.
Right on time there. Hodgson plays a beautiful ball through, and you're right. May doesn't really have any other option there but to try and put something on frame. I thought it took a touch, but from our angle, apparently not.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. Hodgson is being an absolute pest. She is in on every play since entering this match for Indy. Perfectly timed ball here. Defenders racing back. Cut across, and Adam gets in the way. And he's not trying to give Dayton any kind of spark here towards the end of this one, knowing they will see them again in 6 days.
And Adam there, great positioning, stays patient, keeps her eye on the defender as well as the ball, critical touch. Exactly what you needed in that moment.
And more or less the defenders have stayed on for Indy. Keeper has stayed on for Indy. It's fresh legs in terms of the midfield and the forwards for Brandon Kim's squad. And be sure to join us on Wednesday night. Racing Louisville's W League team will be here. In Indy, a 1-1 draw and a 1-0 loss against their LIP AFC rivals. Hodgson flicks it. May gives chase. May in front of a defender. May has a hit and saved. Well, we've seen 2 fantastic saves since it's been 3-0 for the Indy 11.
Yeah, at least May that time gets her opportunity. A good ball again by Hodgson. Leads her right on sides. Keeper has to touch it over there. So a good effort from Elise May.
Katrina Chong will take the corner here for Indy. Looking back post. Not out of danger just yet. The turn, the volley, how about that? What a hit for number 4. It is a second half brace for Hodgson. That is world class from the Indy 11.
She certainly deserved it after the work she's put in. A beautiful, that's so hard to control. It's almost a half bicycle over your back here. Let's take another look.
That is as good of a combination of assist and finish as you are going to see. The flick, and how about the Fighting Irish teammates combining for a no-look assist and a no-look goal.
How about that?
So Mills on the assist, Hodgson on the finish. I'll top you one better. I know where my teammate's going to be. I know where the net's going to be. Boom, boom, 4-0.
If only it was that simple, right? Apparently for Ellie Hodgson it is.
Martin Rennie's going to be smiling a lot in South Bend this year. Got an assistant on the Notre Dame women's program. Head coach of the Indy 11 team in the USL Championship for just shy of 100 games from 2018 into the 2021 season. Here's Chatterton. Chatterton on the cross, and Indy will keep the faucet turned on here as best they can.
And why not? You love to see Chatterton getting in there. Another great ball from her into the box. Again, the more opportunities you can create, the more natural that they feel later on down the road.
I'm saying we feel Indy, if they win out, you feel pretty good about their chances to claim the division. Might be a path if they get a draw in there someplace. Because they are done with Louisville as of wins, that's probably one they have to win that one to have the math in their favor against Racing Louisville.
Yeah, and it sets up for an excellent match here Wednesday night. Not only are they tight, the games have been tight between the two of them. I think Indy 11 probably has a bad taste in their mouth from the last 2 games against Racing.
When in doubt, use Chatterton speed to the left. Ball headed again, make it 5. 5 for the Indy 11, and does Hodgson have a hat trick?
I believe that is 3.
That is a second half hat trick. My goodness.
How about that? You've got a hat trick scorer from Notre Dame coming off your bench. This one might be one of her best placed ones too. Through 2 defenders. How good is that?
So Chatterton on the assist for the Indy 11.
Man.
Might want to find her more minutes.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised.
No offense to the players in front of her who have been playing quite well, but my goodness.
Again, just such a force to come off the bench. And we've now seen her score 3 different ways as well. I mean, we talk about in basketball a lot, a 3-way scorer, but Ellie Hodgson is doing it 3 ways on the soccer pitch as well.
So after putting it to Toledo 6-0 on Wednesday, Indy 5-0, the team that led the division standings going into the match.
I mean, you think about it, the last time the Indy 11 played Dayton, they had scored 8. The 11 had barely scored at all. Now, offense is humming. You've had Sahaki score. You've got Jadoin scoring. You've got now Hodgson scoring. Elise May getting some opportunities on goal. You've just got to feel really good about where your attack is right now.
That is the 5th hat trick in the Indy 11 women's history. And there have been some really good finishers that have played here. Just trying to get one here if you're Dayton, just to give you something to feel good about on the bus ride home. Want to thank our friends at Johnson Controls for presenting this portion of the match. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Great touch by May. And Hodson's got to flatten out her run to stay on side. May's going to try to cut that one back and took a rather fortunate turn off a defender from the Dayton perspective. Well, ironically, the first time that Indy 11 and Dayton face each other in the competition, Indy 11 scored 5 goals. That was back in May of 2014. In that matchup, Blake Smith had a hat trick. I think he is still the Indy 11's all-time leader in Open Cup goals scored 12 years later, I believe. As that will head over to another field across the way. This is the showcase field in this 3-field complex. For those of you that are watching from outside of the area, the Community Health Network Event Center. Only said the full title because it's Brad Hodder's birthday. I know he's watching, so happy birthday, Brad.
Happy birthday.
Extra ball out there in play. I want to thank our friends at Ford. Make sure you visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today. And that hit will be steered wide.
Yeah, we've seen really solid minutes, obviously, from Elise May coming in here, doing a nice job combining with some of those other forwards that have been on. But I also really like the addition of Katrina Chong in the midfield. I think she's done well to combine with that front line. Again, I'm not really seeing like a weak drop-off in some of these substitutions.
There's always been great depth on this Indy 11 team. And part of that is May races out, but win the foot race to get their Spiller. And Spiller has not been poor. It's been the quality of shots around her that have gotten this to 5. It's not on her.
Yeah, she's been serviceable for sure.
Had a couple of big saves here in the second half. Indy, one of the USL Championship teams that fields a squad at this level. And we'll cite Racing Louisville's NWSL pedigree. Obviously, the men's team, Lou City, in the championship. Pittsburgh now has the Riveters, which is a phenomenal name, by the way, for a team.
Well, I'm a little bit impartial to Louisville's mascot combo. Butterfly and Sting.
There you go.
Butterfly of Racing Louisville.
You know, but I got to say, it wasn't fun hearing that chant when they first won at Indy back in 2015.
That's fair.
In the Open Cup.
That's fair. But this year, the mascots were real. I believe it was their premiere season.
Detroit City also very representative. In fact, Indy, the last time they were in the playoffs, they went to Detroit in 2024, falling in the quarterfinals in Hamtramck. Of course, Indy won the W League in 2023. And that was against a kind of a similar squad to what Racing Louisville fields, to North Carolina Courage. Of course, plays in the NWSL and has ties to the USL Championship on the men's side. Good work by May. DiMartino. So 3 second-half goals, all by Hodgson. put this one on ice for some time. It was 2 at the break. In 6, the season high. Indy's goal differential up to 11. Chatterton flying around trying to get on the act as well.
She's been a massive spark as well this second half. You saw her assisting on that last goal by Hodgson. But, man, she has been impressive on this left side.
Kruer, Edwards, well done.
A little awkward, but you'll take that clearance.
Yep.
Those are always the toughest. Right outside where you can use the hands. It's a little bit awkward at that waist level. You just want to clear it up and out, exactly what Edwards did.
Smith, Kruer, Mills, and Edwards, those that have gone the distance tonight for the Indy 11. That will be a corner. Was touched last by an Indy 11 defender.
Good awareness there to go out the short corner.
Just over the outstretched player for Dayton. That was Chloe Lawson that was the target far post. Well, we've frankly seen a handful of matches like this over the years for the Indy 11. We as broadcasters and fans have been spoiled with how good this team has been since its inception. And Indy got the honor of playing in the first ever match in the W League, beating Kingshammer back in May of 2022. They made at least the national quarterfinals each of the first 3 years. No postseason last year, went 5-5, bit of a retooling year. Many of those players are back, though, from last year. Cut back to May. May has a hit, and May wasn't trying to win the crossbar challenge. That header is in.
They call her off?
So wave it off. Take a look at maybe
it's great
where the infraction comes from.
Yeah, great first strike by May.
And they're going to call Hodgson for displacing the defender. You're a little more apt to get that whistle when you're up 5-0.
That's fair.
Just human nature.
That's fair. Great rip by May, though. That was inches off from her getting on the score sheet.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time, presented by our friends at Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Well, from the Indy perspective, we certainly hope that Wednesday night is as fun as tonight has been. Not enough in it. Chatterton plays back to Adam. Pair of former Noblesville Millers.
They know a little something about soccer up there in Noblesville.
A little young this year in Noblesville, so 2 other Hamilton County teams made the state final. Hodgson ventures offside. We'll see if we have stoppage time or at 5-0 we simply say, you know what, let's get the visiting team on the bus here. Knowing it's not going to make a difference in the outcome tonight.
No, but I tell you what, for as good as Nikki Jadoin was and Risa Hockey was in that first half, Ellie Hodgson has just been just as good. In a different way, though. You know, so Hockey and Jadoin do a nice job of combining together. One of them will drop, one of them goes forward, and they almost build off of each other. Hodgson does something similar, but it's almost involving everyone and not just the 2 forward front.
Throw-in coming here for Dayton. And I would imagine we'll see a little closer match when these two get together 6 days from now. Right idea on the cutback, just couldn't get back to it.
If you're the Indy 11, you hope going into that game Sunday, you've won your last 2. This one looks pretty safe. But Wednesday, going to be critical. If you go into that Sunday match on a 2-game winning streak, you just beat this team 5-0, I think you're feeling pretty good about it. But that's going to be that consequential game. Like you said, it's going to be tighter. I think Dayton Dutch Lions are going to have obviously a lot more to play for at that point in the season. just setting up for a great match Sunday and obviously Wednesday as well.
Spiller takes no chances. And Dayton nor Louisville had lost until tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, the last two games, if you're the 11, you score 11 goals. And I think you feel good about that on the offensive side.
Chatterton plays it across. They may not be done. That one steered just a bit wide. There is going to be some stoppage time. Not a whole lot. But I did see our center signal to the fourth that there will be some additional time. Two minutes. And this one steers wide and to the right. Samantha Erbach with the shot that went wide.
Erbach's been giving it a solid effort. You've seen her kind of all over that front line, even coming back in the midfield a few times to pick up the ball and try and start the attack. Again, nothing of necessarily really scary danger in the second half for the 11. Edwards not being tested too much. A few dicey clearances she had to make with her feet, but really an impressive performance defensively as well.
Left foot. Chatterton just couldn't settle that one down.
Great position, good run. That first touch just popped up on her.
And Chatterton immediately goes, that's my fault. Look forward to seeing you all back here on Wednesday night. ISC Sports Network and Sports Engine Play, where you can find every Indy 11 women's home match. Of course, all league matches available on Sports Engine Play. Smith. That ball inside of the 6. Shot from distance. Spiller handles that one well. Will not stay long after conclusion of this one, knowing that this one has been in the win column for the last 35 minutes plus for the Indy 11. And Jadoin, the opening goal. Dardano, the ricochet goal. And Hodgson, the second half hat trick. We'll have to go back and watch the footage on Hodgson and see if she may have had the perfect hat trick. In other words, right foot, left foot,
head.
And head. She had at least 2 of those.
I'll have to check that. But, I mean, to be honest, this feels like a really big win for the 11.
Chong's shot does not get through. May's follow-up setter gets through.
Oh,
that's 6.
Literally past stoppage time that time, but Jenna Chatterton assisted on the earlier goal, and just again another great poacher's goal in the right place at the right time to clean things up.
Back-to-back 6-0 wins for the Indy 11. Because basically what will happen will be like the end of the first half. The last touch of the half will basically be a goal, and Chatterton, the veteran of this team, just says, all right, claps her hands and on to the next. Let's go.
Again, just a dream start to this 3-game series for the 11. You love to see things operating the way they did today. Getting a shutout and then putting up the performance on offense that you did bodes well for the rest of the week.
And that's that. No need for further activity. Well, in a game the Indy 11 had to have, to say they made a statement would be an understatement. 6-0 for the Indy 11, beating the previously division-leading Dayton Dutch Lions. Now Racing Louisville will have that mark. Racing is here on Wednesday. Dayton comes back on Saturday. Kristen, your final thoughts.
Get out here Wednesday. Cheer this Indy 11 women's team on. They're making a surge for that top table. They're playing some of the best soccer that I have seen lately. Tonight was fun. Wednesday's going to be fun. Get out here, see some great soccer, and support this club.
I want to thank a couple of sponsors that make it possible. Thanks to our friends at Desnuda. Desnuda, 100% organic tequila, how real tequila tastes. And by AES Indiana. accelerating the future of energy together. For Kristen Hazley and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. We'll talk to you on Wednesday at 7 o'clock from the Community Health Network Event Center at the Droplight Grand Park Sports Campus. Indy 6, Dayton 0. Thanks for watching USLW League Soccer on Sports Engine Play and the ISC Sports Network.
Owning a home can be complicated.
Why?
Oops.
How am I gonna explain this to your mother? She hasn't even been gone 2 hours.
You know what? I'm just gonna call him.
Pros for over 80 years.
Droplight is a venture studio. We don't sit on the sidelines. We build inside the brand. From stadiums to festivals to the fastest tracks in the world. We turn brands into something people feel. Turning ideas into traction, partnerships into pressure, and momentum you can't ignore. This is Ignition. This is Droplight. Fuel for brave brands.
You're looking at our future, working together, learning from each other, and teaching everyone how our lives can improve with greener, smarter energy. At AES, we champion this innovation, and the work we're doing globally is coming right here to Indianapolis, so that our community can enjoy smart energy solutions that power our lives while energizing the next generation of innovators. IPL is now AES Indiana.